welcome to another Breezin with Bierman. This show is a juggernaut. Before I even talk about the guests, 3 people told me that they saw my show. One in Hamilton, one in Robbinsville, and I think the other one in Yardville, which is Hamilton.
What did you pay them?
Didn't pay them anything. They said they were like surfing around, they saw me, and they couldn't remember who I was talking to, but it was funny.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, at least one good thing happened with the election.
What's that? How does this have to do with the show? What?
You're being deported.
No. Well, maybe that's, I don't know. Anyway, that's for the round table. Today we have as our guest, personal stylist Anne Waldeck, the singer for the 5th time, John Padovano, and Kurt's here again. I don't know why. Kurt, how do you feel about the show? What direction?
I don't know why you pay me the money you do, but I show up. I get
Actually,
paid.
we're paying your wife because she edits it and makes it look a little bit better than it was before.
So she edits you out.
Under the other regime. As far as the show goes, hopefully the station's taking no leaps and bounds. I've heard of new models that might make money for the show and also form relationships finally with institutions in this town.
You've got 3 listeners now, so that's a big market you've got.
Well, I told you, other people listen to me, but I think they stare at me and they hate me because I don't think they like what I say.
That's for other reasons.
No, they don't like what I say sometimes. I guess politically correct, whatever that means.
Donald Trump Jr. here.
What brought this hat into play? I know besides you're embarrassed about your lack of hair, but this is a different kind of hat.
Well, it was bought for me, so I said, okay, let's make a use for it. So I brought it on this stupid show.
You're very negative, and it's really boring. But anyway, so
I figured your audience of 3 wouldn't object.
I want to see what it look. You didn't do a screen test, so you're just winging it, as you said. I just want to see how it really looks and stuff.
I'm naturally good looking. I have charisma.
Mm-hmm. Do you keep anything under that hat, like an Abe Lincoln, notes, comments, musical? You're still into music and comedy, I thought, and painting and stuff.
I keep my feces.
On your head and everything.
Yeah.
That's great. The personal stylist, you gonna have any questions? Of course, you probably didn't prep for the moment.
I'm going to be nude for that segment.
That is scary and stuff. You never procreated, did you?
No, I missed that.
You did that, yeah. Maybe a good reason. So anyway, that's going to be Breezing with Bierman, and we're looking forward to it, and I hope you stay put. Hi, welcome back to Breezing with Bierman. And
a little more energy, come on.
I'm very excited to have a woman today named Anne Waldeck, who works for J. Hilburn. And I wrote a little opening, so bear with me. Since 2007, J. Hilburn has been changing the landscape of men's premium custom clothes. And has become one of the world's largest online M&M. M&M means again?
Made to measure.
You did that very well, even though you're nervous. Brands.
Thank you.
Co-founded by so-and-so. And so he founded, I can't pronounce that name either, J. Hilburn, with one
what
simple
name can you pronounce?
principle. Every man's wardrobe starts with a well-fitted shirt. And now they have 3,000 stylists, personalized suits from the finest millineries from Italy, and they help you with power suits, informal style, you name it. Now we have, Anne Waldeck. Can I read your bio from your own website?
No, you can't.
I like what Anne said. Life is full of challenges. Your wardrobe, however, should not be one of them. And that's where she enters the picture. And look at her. I think you're rather attractive. I think a man would like you coming over. I don't know if his wife would like that. But
that's not what he was saying before the show.
I'm here for the guy, this is more me, who doesn't have the time or perhaps inclination to find clothes that fits his lifestyle or body type. And whether that means helping decipher a dress code or select the most flattering suit, which is important because body language, as we know, in appearance is probably 80% of the game, especially when you meet someone for the first time. Mm-hmm. I always provide my honest opinion. Delivering quality is my business, and my clients think I'm quite good at it. J. Hilburn does too, and that's why the company offers 100% guarantee. Anne Waldeck, welcome to Breezing with Bierman.
Thank you for having me, Adam.
Thank you. So let's get briefly in. You were a pharmacist?
Initially, yes. Originally, I was a pharmacist from Australia.
So you grew plants?
No.
Oh, pharmacist? Okay.
Trained pharmacist, a hospital pharmacist and a retail pharmacist.
But as a girl, your love, your passion, your fantasy was?
Fashion, always fashion. But I didn't realize I could make a living out of fashion. And I didn't know when I was younger that it was possible.
Easier to make a living being a pharmacist.
Yeah, but it's not something I love. And I love dressing men. Who wouldn't?
Right. So you did the practical thing.
Adam enjoys undressing me.
So you did the practical thing. Did your parents get? Well, you're long gone. Now you came from one colony you came to America.
Yes.
And you found out about J. Hilburn. How did you find out about J. Hilburn?
A friend of mine. She was working for J. Hilburn. Yeah. So she brought me on. I said, "This is a great company to work for. These are great clothes." I looked at her suits at a trunk show and was just amazed with the quality of J. Hilburn. The best Italian fabrics and without traditional markup. So it's an affordable product for the everyday man.
How did you develop your knowledge of fabrics and the fashion world?
And stay updated on current trends.
I read a lot. GQ magazine, Esquire. Yeah, it was voted the best custom shirt in Esquire magazine.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get almost all my clothes at a really great place called Rummage Sales.
Well, you need J. Hilburn.
Yeah.
I need to outfit you and measure you.
I would
J.
like
Hilburn.
that too,
Yeah.
because from our research too, it's that women love the hunt. They love fashion. They like mixing and matching. Men, either they're phobic, don't have the time, or even the confidence.
That's right. J. Hilburn's for the man who doesn't like to shop. So, they want to look their best. So I come and do the picture. It's one-on-one, convenient, personal service, and personal style. So.
And the prices are good because there's no middleman. You said.
Yeah, no traditional markups.
Right.
No retail space. So I come to you. I come to the client in their home or office, and I tell them how to wear their clothes, advise them on their wardrobe.
So normally when you have a special person come to you, you think you're going to pay through the nose, but this isn't true at all here.
No, not at all, because you don't have a storefront.
Right. Maybe a simulation. Could you do a little simulation, like maybe using Kurt as your dummy, which is kind of apt or something? What would you do? What would you do when you came to someone's house? How did it start?
Well, I would ask him to wear his best fitting shirt, so I know what kind of style he's looking for.
Yeah. At home, I'm a nudist.
Well, that makes it very difficult.
Yeah.
But so I would see what kind of style he likes, extra fitted or fitted shirt, what kind of occasion he's looking for, whether it's a formal occasion, off-duty, business casual. And advise him on what colour would be suiting to his complexion and what goes with his jacket.
I'm kind of white.
So you're almost like a doctor. You tease things out. You tease out information. You have a critical eye.
Exactly.
You look at the whole body, the face, and stuff.
Exactly.
So what would you do? I mean, what would you tell them? How would you measure them? If you can, maybe you can get up if you have to.
Well, I take about 15 measurements.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like fits you perfectly, and the men are amazed how terrific they look afterwards. The before and after picture here shows, and to see the.
Oh my God, he goes from a schlub.
Yeah, so they are just so happy with the way they look. They they're amazed.
Well, when you go into a store, you're just buying stuff off the rack.
Yeah, so this fits you.
I'm a 33,
yeah.
And there's very few 33s. All the odd numbers are, they have very few of them. So, also like shirts. Okay, I'm a medium, but that's very generic.
Exactly.
So, you wind up with stuff. You're lucky if it's a nice fit.
Yes, because it fits you on the chest, but it doesn't fit you on the arms. If you're a shorter or a taller man, no one's perfect size. So with J. Hilburn, it's a perfect fit and it's a perfect size, and it's your personal style as well. You choose the buttons, the custom thread, the swatch fabric.
Oh my God! Oh, that's
everything.
What you show the person here with. Then
yeah, the different swatches, and then what shirt goes with what suit, and what occasion's coming up. So I can advise you what looks good on you and what you should be wearing.
Mm-hmm. And you get good feedback from that. Do you get feedback afterwards from customers and everything?
Yeah, you get a lot of. I got a client today that texted me and said, I want another jacket and shirt, and I just delivered his first suit for a wedding, and he was so pleased, he couldn't believe it, because I had said, we need something that fits you, and he was like, oh, I like the boxy look, and I said, trust me with this, and he was amazed, and then he wants to have more.
So you have more confidence too.
Yeah, exactly, it's referral, and then he tells his friend, and then it goes on like that.
A lot of this, I would assume, would be for business attire.
It is, but also social events and tuxedos. We do great tuxedos as well.
Mm-hmm. What is the fabric? You say the finest of relationships in Italy, northern Italy?
Yes, northern Italy. We have.
These are people who've been doing it for hundreds of years.
Yeah, about 350 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So they take it quite seriously. Then.
Yeah, very seriously, and they're made in Portugal, and so.
How could you measure?
What about Pakistan?
No.
No.
But so what do we have there though? What could you describe what that is? What kind of fabric? What kind of dress?
This is a shirt in one of our luxe fabrics.
It's alive!
And a pocket square, a little detail.
And
yeah.
and again, how do you wash this? Is it normal washing, drying?
Well, you don't. For a suit, you can just hang it in it's wool. It's a natural fibre, so you can just hang that in your closet. You can wash the shirt and warm iron. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit on the head if you want.
Mm-hmm. So what would you do for Kurt then? Let's say he was a client. He needs something.
Well, I can do the measurements.
Yeah,
if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Would you like?
And if we need to get up and everything, and if it's a glitch, we'll just.
So you stand up.
Try to be serious, Kurt, for a second.
So we take the neck.
Ow!
So that'll be 16. Like I give him enough room there, and I tell him to relax. Make sure. And I write all this down.
Right, I see you have your sheets here.
Yeah, I have all my sheets.
Am I turning you on?
Of course.
I have a nose.
And the chest, and then you do the waist. So we have several measurements.
Really?
My waist is a work in
Arms
progress.
down.
I like how she takes control.
Yeah.
Do you have a whip?
Where'd you get this guy?
I don't know. You do a lot of so you do. This is like very personal and everything because I never. I didn't
Oh
even
yeah,
know
it's
you used to do
like
that.
a hairdresser almost, and it's
Right.
it's personal one-on-one.
Yeah. Now I haven't made a happy
But
ending
you've
joke.
done. I think he has to leave soon. But you haven't done. I think, but you've done so many measurements and everything.
Oh yeah, and
Right.
you know like the back of your hand and
Really?
what.
I would like that though. It's like almost like personal, so just someone's kind of like,
Yeah, and you know where it goes, and then when the suit comes back.
So you want to get a measure from here to here and
Yeah,
then
that's
here
the
to
sleeve,
here?
and then you've asked to.
That's really
put your wrist up.
that's really custom.
yeah.
Yeah,
man,
and
you're doing
your
everything.
wrist measurements,
I didn't
and then
even
the
know you did
length
all
of
this.
your shirt goes from here
Yeah. Adam has a limp wrist. Does that matter?
down to here, and I write these down.
Right.
So it's a lot of measurements, so it's a perfect fit.
Mhm. How long does it take usually?
2 weeks, which is a great turnaround for a custom shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's like 1 to 2 months. So
And it comes right to the
Jacobin's great.
person's house and everything.
No.
Well, I deliver it in the first. It depends on what the client
'cause
wants.
you
but
wanna make
mostly
sure
it's a perfect fit.
Right.
So on the first delivery, I will deliver it, and I will deliver the first suit.
And
And
then
I
they'll
like
put
to
it
see my product,
Mm-hmm.
and
Now you specialize in the male market.
yes, it's a male menswear. Yeah.
What is there something more lucrative about it, or is it more likely for a guy to hire a person like yourself, or what leads to the specialization for male attire?
That was the company. That's what.
Okay, it just happened to be the company.
Yeah, because he was working on Wall Street, and he was frustrated with the custom clothes out there, the high markups and the long turnaround, and he decided to do something and started his own company.
He was a market
So he was
analyst, but
yeah.
he learned the business and he talked to
Yeah.
people in clothes.
Are
and
there people who
Here's
do
a
your
male.
job but for women?
No, it's just men's. Yeah,
And this part of the market, from my research, is growing. It's growing a
Yeah.
whole lot.
because
online.
men don't like to shop,
No.
but they like to look good. So
Yeah.
that's where Hilburn comes in.
Right.
It's perfect.
So how much would I pay just, let's say I'm thinking of actually spoiling myself. If I
Yeah.
had to come one time and I get a suit for this, a good suit, how much would it cost, do you think? Just have a shirt and that jacket.
Well, one of our best fabrics will be $950 for the suit, and
Ooh.
like $150 for a shirt. But the lowest price is $745 for a suit, ranging up for our luxe fabrics, $1890. But it's a lot lower than store prices for the quality that it is.
Also, it's a good investment. And
It's a great
And
investment.
I've blown that much money, unfortunately, in New York, going out to dinner at crappy restaurants.
and-
really,
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
Gone, and it's gone.
Exactly.
And then on blow.
Yeah. Anyway, yes. But anyway, yeah, you've blown money on superficial things that weren't that great and didn't last. A good suit can last forever.
That's
and,
true.
and stuff. If people want to contact you, see you, what do they do? You can give your bona fides, as we say right now.
My email,
Yes.
Anne Waldeck, anne.waldeck@jhilburnpartner.com, or my telephone number. Yeah, 609-751-6944.
Say that again. 609.
751-6944.
So you come, and when you say you come to someone's house, how long are you there on average? Does it take you?
Well, the first appointment's roughly about an hour, and following appointments half an hour.
And you keep the measurements on record and everything? You have a file
Yes,
on
it's
record?
all on file, and even the guy can go online and order his own shirts after I've done the first one. So it's really, really easy then, because all the measurements are in the system. So very convenient.
And business has been good for you. This is growing. It's
Oh
meeting your
yeah, and I love it.
expectations, and you love
It's fantastic.
And everyone's a new experience, new house, new.
Yeah, it's a new environment. You get to meet new people.
Right. And you never know what's going to happen next. You know, who
Exactly.
knows, right.
Exactly.
Did you ever meet Donald Trump? I'm just joking. No, but yeah.
Are you considering moving back to Australia?
No, I like it here. It's a great place.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yes.
Well, any more questions that aren't asinine or even or sexually tinged in South America for Anne?
You're going to have to give me a few minutes to come up with one.
Well, Anne, I hope we met your expectations. I always like to help entrepreneurs, especially local Princeton ones, and I like your quality and fabric. And maybe I will have you come over one. Maybe I don't know if I can afford the whole suit of this. You know, not that I get paid this much.
A piece at a time.
A piece at a time could work, and
Yeah.
I help someone, do it well. You don't mind dogs, do you? Yeah. Do you like the mailman? Do you have to deal with like weird things sometimes, like dogs biting you, or like
No,
cold
it's-
houses or anything?
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, you might have stories though eventually.
Yeah.
Well, Anne Waldeck, thank you very much. Jay Hilburn, and what's your email again? Do they want to email you one more time?
Anne.waldeck@jhilburnpartner.com.
Or just Google the name and Jay Hilburn, and you'll find her because I did quite easily. So that's Anne Waldeck, and we'll be right back with Breezin with Bierman. Welcome back to Breezin with Bierman. I'm excited. We have for the 5th time John Padovano. So happy to have you back. Did I say it right?
Padovano.
Padovano. We just
Are
found
you
out.
related to Don Pardo?
Well, if you say it the way he says it, then all of a sudden my whole genealogy will change.
We just found out. You just told us that's where the first university in the world, or what?
Oh, Padova. Yeah, one of the first universities in the world. Yeah.
Galileo.
The name Galileo
Yeah.
taught there. Yeah.
Anyway, your music has been going around the world, around the country. You're the Ironbound crooner. Where are you at right now in terms of playing and your style?
He's on a cable access TV show. That should answer the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm doing. Every once in a while, you'll see me playing at libraries, wineries, and coffee houses.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll be at. Yeah.
I love it. Very mellow and acoustic. What are you going to play for us today?
This is a song that's going to be on my next album, Moments Past Like Falling Leaves. And the second song is a song that I actually wrote when I was like a young teenager. I don't know if I was 14, 15. And what's odd about it, it's a song about the viewpoint of someone in old age. But when I took the song, when I found it again, I said, boy, it really did capture old age, and I wrote it at an age of 14 or 15.
Wow,
But
precocious in a way.
yeah,
I once wrote a song called When I'm 65.
yeah, there is one that's a year older than the Paul McCartney, I think, right?
When I'm 64.
You catch on quickly.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him. Okay, we'll be right back with the music of John Padovano.
Moments pass like falling leaves, drift away so easily. Please let one leaf of time that you see become a thought of me. Moments pass like falling leaves, softly as an autumn breeze, and as each leaf passes in front of me, I recall you dearly. Please let one leaf of time that you see things left in the backyard. My children have grown and gone away. The grass is long fading, flowers have withered away. The garden is now dry dirt, with tangled hose and rusted rake. My summer was spent alone, rocks to the duck pond I would take. I look all around me, yes, so much has changed, but the love of my heart for those who are gone always remains. I can now see the leaves on my front steps and on the street. I hear the voices of young mothers calling their children home. It's time to eat. Each evening I read my favorite book till I notice that it's late. Then I set my supper table with my candle by my plate. I look all around me, yes, so much has changed, but the love in my heart for those who are gone always remains.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a song I wrote when I was,
I like that song.
I was a teen. I forgot all about it, and recently
Where did that come from then? 14 years old,
I
writing
know.
like that. You're like a little old man.
yeah, I was around that age, yeah. In fact, I did a couple of songs I just recently, I was lying in bed, and there was a song that came up running through my head. I said, well, it's a nice little melody. It wasn't this one, it's another one. And I remembered, I said, I wrote that, back then, and I remembered, I spent a couple of days trying to get it back in my mind.
Well, do you actually like hum it in like a microphone, or do you write music?
No, I mostly, I have my own notations and stuff, but I
So
also
remember?
record it, but yeah, my own. So,
Yeah, when you get inspiration, what do? Do you write things down quickly or something?
yeah.
Before you
Try.
listen.
Yeah, I remember that Seinfeld episode where he's trying to remember a joke from his sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes, I think, I forget what the joke was, but.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that funny actually.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't remember the details.
Yeah, you try to write things down, sometimes you wake up, and say, what was that? Yeah.
Well, thanks again, and thank you for coming all this way again.
Thank you very much, thank you very much.
This is one of my favorite subjects of Breezin with Bierman. That is the roundtable, unfiltered opinion from these great minds. We have the bitches and the men.
My favorite section is when it ends.
Okay, issue one, we'll probably speak the whole roundtable. Donald Trump, does he have the temperament, the study skills, does he, personality? Will he get the right people to a successful job as president? I want to start one with psychologist Stacey Hoffer. Your take on Donald Trump from your observations, body language, temperament, on how he might do his job.
I see that you have his hairstyle.
Oh, thanks. I would say, if I had to diagnose him, I'd say he has a narcissistic personality disorder,
Quite obvious.
and that he's impulsive, and that his ego is easily bruised, and so because of all those factors, that makes his temperament not so steady, in order to lead us. So he probably,
That whole thing about being a man-child.
the man child. Yeah, I mean he's just he's so impulsive. He's so reactive, and the twittering is very that's childish too. You don't expect a international leader of the free world to be tweeting to followers. And I heard he doesn't even have a computer. He tweets, but he doesn't have a computer. So to go from Barack Obama, who is the best example of someone who's measured, calm, reasonable, not reactive, thoughtful, decent, and then we have this. And I think it's scary because on the one hand, he's backpedaled off of a lot of his statements. Like I watched the 60 Minutes interview, and I kind of felt a little better after I watched that. But then when you really look, he's still appointing all of these advisors who are going to, and they're pretty far to the right, and they're all white males.
We'll see how it works. So one thing, no matter what, hopefully we do have, separation of powers, the Constitution, a free media still, and everything, and that can be a stopgap, so to speak, and people can protest.
The Gestapo is here to take you away.
Okay.
Adam, as a journalist, comment on that. Would you talk about how you feel
He's a
about?
journalist? Wait a second. Now it's a comedy show.
All right, it's a comedy show. But talk about that issue of the way that Trump has blocked out the press, and he's broken with so much protocol and tradition. What do you think about that?
Quickly, I mean, every president tries to form their own message, and they try to curry favor with the press and go around them.
Yeah.
And now in this fragmented age of multimedia, maybe do that. But he's doing the impulsive, what I think, and it might be blowback, especially if things don't work out with him. He'd like to censor people. He'd like to change libel laws. He'd like to tell you to shut up. That's the kind of childhood impulsiveness.
Yes.
And I think there's going to be blowback with that. And most people, and the press will say, you're a joke. You can't do this with your tantrums, and we don't want to do it. I just don't want him to get involved. Being the president, I want him to succeed. I would love to see some jobs come back if that's possible. I don't want him to get tied down in petty feuds or even more lawsuits.
Right.
Go Nixon with his paranoia and start tapping phones and going after people and become a laughing stock. And then
I don't want to see him get impeached because then Pence becomes president.
Yeah. Pence is
that's
pretty
even scary.
Pence is worse. Okay.
Yeah, but things are measured. I mean, the art of politics, how much you can do. You have to decide what your priorities, what you can get through. And I mean, after 100 days, more people dislike you than like you. I mean, this first 100 days will be quite interesting.
Because it's new, obviously.
Yeah.
So, Kurt, talk about Pence. Would you mind talking about why you think he's worse? Because I don't really know much about him at all. All of my attention got towards Donald and Hillary.
Really?
Yeah. So tell us what your hesitations
He was
are.
Governor of Indiana,
right?
And he's got some of the most aggressive anti-gay stuff going on.
Okay.
And that's really what I mean. He's just actively hostile.
Okay, wonderful.
Very.
Yeah, but on the social issues, though, I think broad-based, a lot of people still don't want to see go backwards with that. And a lot of people don't care enough about gay marriage. And I think a lot of women are people pro-choice.
The problem is that if he appoints a bunch of justices,
exactly.
Scalia, that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen.
And that is a problem.
Roe v. Wade, he was asked about that on 60 Minutes, remember? Yeah. And he's like, he kind of dodged the question, oh, well, then it would go back to the states. And, Leslie Stahl's like, well, what does that do to the woman? The woman in one state who now maybe doesn't have the money to go to the other state to get the abortion.
Yeah, that's been the anti-approach, in my opinion, that chip away, make it difficult. Mm-hmm. But, again, I mean, I think they're on the wrong side of history with that. I don't think Donald Trump really cares. To me, he ran. He was like the first third-party candidate to win, even though he ran as a Republican. He went against the establishment.
One of the big questions with it, and this is the biggest. It's the weirdest and most cataclysmic election we've ever had.
I agree.
Because we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Is he going to, his inner Democrat,
right?
Because supposedly he was
pro-choice.
He was pro-choice in the partial
past.
birth abortions years ago.
Yeah.
And we don't know exactly. Okay, if he's a liar, maybe he's lying about all this stuff. But then he brings in a cabinet where some of the stuff I agree with, some of it I don't. There is a thing going on that. With many people who hate him, no matter what he does, they're going to complain about it, no matter what.
Well, that's normal for the president, right? No matter, you can't please all the people all the time.
Because Obama got roadblocks from day one.
Right.
It's been more polarizing than I've ever seen.
If I told you that Trump deported 2.5 million illegal aliens, when actually Obama has deported 2.5 million. I mean, but people, of course, if Trump deports 2.5 million, they will be all angry at him because he's so racist. When we're a country and we deport some people. I mean,
Well,
that's what goes on when they commit crimes.
But here's the question. What do you think would happen if it was so severe that he decided, or he was able to like round up a bunch of a particular religion or ethnicity? I'm thinking about the Japanese here in this country.
Well,
you know, what's to
that
stop
was
him
in
from
World War
making?
II.
I know,
the United States apologized for it. And it was a mistake, but I mean, I don't think we should beat up America for that. Okay.
Okay.
No, but you could do an executive action and get rid of those people who go like from every 2-3 years their papers come up. In 2017, I think a lot of people.
That's a regular immigration.
Yeah.
Well, that's very different from rounding people up.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, I didn't think he'd get elected.
Yeah.
You know, and yet here he is.
No. All Trump has talked about is he wants the United States to have borders and enforce it. Now, is that such a bad thing? And also, there's a religion on this planet which has a series of theocracies where they do things like they put gays to death. Okay, I mean, this is and they have terrorism, and it's we can't pretend that all religions are the same.
This is true.
And they're aggressive theocrats, and they have riots if you dare criticize them. So there are legitimate questions out there, and I don't think we can beat up Trump for this. Okay.
Oh, I agree, and I don't need to beat him up. It's a waste of my energy. I'm just anxious about what's going to happen. I'm worried.
But with the refugees, though, I mean, I don't think a terrorist would want to go through a refugee. To come to the United States legally, they have to be in a refugee camp for 2 years.
The problem here is with the Muslim mentality, and with the people, they grow up Muslim and then they discover the true religion. And they become more angry.
Okay, so that's a massive overgeneralization. Massive. I mean,
I'm not talking about every Muslim, but you can see it you can see tons of examples in Muslims, and many of them who go people from the United States and England and France and Germany who go to join ISIS, and they're not going to join the Amish.
Can I comment though? But we already that is a problem. But already through Bush and Obama, we've seen the deaths since 2011, since 2001, 9/11. I think more people have died from homegrown, and some Muslims, right-wing extremists, than have that because of no-flies. No-fly. People can't get on the no-fly list because of filtering with refugee camps and everything. A lot of that's already in place, though. And what Trump did with the demagoguery, that's what pissed me off, though. Because he did it his way, and he was playing to an audience, But I think when it comes down to it, it's still going to be jobs. And what I don't understand, how is he going to bring factory jobs back or whatever? Unless he can do this infrastructure program, which
politicians say stuff to get elected, and the people voting are not professional economists. I mean, so the people are voting with their emotions. He's going to bring our jobs back because he said so.
Or maybe they're hoping, or just hoping.
Or whatever. Trump was able to appeal to people's emotions in the Rust Belt state, where Hillary was not appealing to her emotions.
She took it for granted, I guess, that she had the Rust Belt states. But I still say, how does he convince the people that he's going to bring jobs back?
Well, I said this before, though.
Right?
I think
you're saying it's emotional.
I think a lot of these people have not worked. Some of them 5-6 years. They're also throwing just a brick through the window. They're so pissed and wanting to hurt and stuff. And maybe, and some of them probably, I'm sure, I haven't interviewed everyone. He's flawed, he's screwed up, but hey, who knows? He's different.
When I try to imagine, I try to put myself in the place of people who have grown up in West Virginia, where the coal mines were what paid the bills maybe for their great-grandparents and their grandparents. And there was a county, I can't remember the name of it, that used to have a population of 100,000 people. Now it's down to 19,000. And so you have a disenfranchised group of people, and they truly, there's nothing going on. But global warming is here, which means we can't keep with the coal. And so I say, why doesn't Bill Gates or one of these trillionaires go into these West Virginia towns and start building like solar factories or something? Why don't they bring business there? Why don't they bring the jobs to the people, help retrain them? I mean, it could happen. They don't have to leave their town. That's their land. They love where they are. And I don't think it's nice or appropriate for us to say, oh, we'll just stop doing coal mining and move to New York. I mean, that's not right either. No. But if they're there and they need to be retrained, I mean, I don't have the $1 billion to go into that community and say, all right, let's build a new hospital, a new school. Let's put a Walmart in, whatever it is, and let's get a couple factories going here. I mean, that's how it starts. But who's doing it?
No one.
I mean,
well, Trump has talked about an infrastructure program. Now, I guess I would add to the deficit. And Mitch McConnell said that would be, the House, leader. It's low on his list, but we have to get people back to their dignity and jobs, and go from there, and see what happens.
Well, I think that's the key thing. As a social worker, one of the first things that I thought when this happened was, who have we not heard? Who have we not listened to? And it's not okay to say to the folks who have the coal mining jobs, well, global warming. We don't care about anything but the fact that there's climate change. Right. And well, too bad. You're in a place where the industries are changing. That's not, those people are angry, they're hurt. And until we respond to their anger and their hurt in a constructive manner, it's called empathy, right? And maybe the government isn't the body to do this. Maybe it's Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Are you saying this as the church lady?
No. I'm not really.
People need jobs. People
they need jobs, but how hard? I mean, I'm not in the 1%.
Yeah, but you said something there, like the economy is changing.
Right.
It's not like the industry before is not the industries that
they
are
can't
booming
keep doing
now.
that, right?
So we cannot but the appeal that they had is like they think that they're going to bring that back. Whatever was lost,
but it
that is going to be bring back.
It can't come
But
back.
in
It's
reality,
not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
Maybe one thing I don't even know if this is correct. I always wondered though if they could maybe some of those companies could still, is it just pure profit they're looking for in Mexico when that like carry a clinic in Indiana is going to Mexico? Or could they stay or be a smaller company and still stay and maybe not make as big a profit? I don't know if that's true.
Well,
or they're just maximizing profit for shareholders.
Yeah.
That's where the government could get on people's
Yeah.
It's again, it comes back to all of this income inequality, because when the CEO of an insurance company, like of an Aetna or a Blue Cross Blue Shield, is taking home millions of dollars.
Also, they can fail at their job and take home millions.
They take home millions of dollars. Okay, nobody's work is worth that much money. I'm sorry, and I'm a professional too. And so they're hogging all this money, just like King Midas, right? And meanwhile, people can't get care that they need, or they're denied, and that's wrong. I mean, it's just morally wrong not to have compassion for your fellow human being.
I agree.
It makes me angry, because there are people who are in a position to do good. There really are. There are people who could choose to put their money, in a really good place.
They're doing something?
Well, I'm sure they're doing some things. I know that there are foundations who do good things, but right now we're talking about like all of these Rust Belt towns, for example. That population has been totally forgotten. You know
what's even weirder though, and it's part of our American psyche, like too much government. We're going to be dependent on government. It seems like it's a mixed, they're mixed metaphors, because they want help, but a lot of times it only can come through some kind of government organization.
Yeah.
And stuff, but I don't get. Yeah, it's weird. The New Deal, in a lot of ways, saved this country. But there's still people today I can talk to. My grandfather was one. He did the most damage. He made America dependent. But it seems a country has to grow civilly. Well, I'm not saying, of course, government's always the answer, and I'm sure people abuse it and you get people dependent. But we're not in the colonial times. Maybe in Utah and Mormon country, where everyone does help each other, you can get away with that. But
well, my theory, because I have this discussion with my two teenage boys a lot about the American mentality, and of course I can't prove this, but
your gut reaction.
Is my gut is explaining to my kids, there's like why is it that people want to own guns? Because my friends in Canada don't want to have guns, and it's like
they do have their recreation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But exploring the differences in the cultures. And my theory, what I said to my son recently, I said, look who founded this nation. And I'm a 13th generation American. Right. I have many ancestors who fought in the Revolutionary War. I could join DAR anytime. And I'm proud of that, but I'm also not proud of course, how we treated minorities. But at any rate, that's the mentality. The mentality was, we don't have religious freedom. We have taxation without representation. We can't trust the government. Fuck it. We're out of there. Right. We're coming over here. What did it take to get on these huge boats and come over here?
A lot of people came. Were people, they wanted less government. They wanted to be left alone, do their own
thing. I think it's part of our consciousness.
I think a lot of that was economic desperation.
That too.
I mean, if you're moving out from a place that's settled into the wilderness,
why would you do that, right?
It's like, these are times that like the normal lifestyle was one of poverty.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, we got the religious fanatics. People wanted to make money, and the people like the Scotch Irish who are just crazy, and the still crazy and beauty who wanted to do their own thing.
Well,
right.
It's in the consciousness. It's like the right to bear arms, the right to protect myself, with the notion that the government might turn on me. And I asked a Canadian friend, and she says it's just her opinion.
And also, it's government interference.
Well, but but it's her opinion that she, again, overgeneralized as a Canadian, but she said, the Canadian mentality is not that we fear the government.
Right.
For whatever reason, they don't have that same kind of
also
individualism and rebellion.
And you have to go out, as I've traveled, you have to go out places where we live in the Northeast. It's crowded. We need government. We need infrastructure. We need and stuff. When you go out to these places, they have grown up for generation after generation doing their own thing and left alone, and they get pissed off. It's funny you say that, though, because I was knee-jerk, too. You mentioned socialism to me even 15 years ago. That's the way to communism, without even thinking.
Exactly. And I have found that so many times. I took a trip to Sweden a couple of years ago, came back, was talking with someone, an acquaintance, about the Swedish healthcare system and the Swedish society, which I think largely works for them because they've been racially homogenous. So, but the minute that I described that, if your kid has special needs, you get health care, the government gives you a day or two off every month so that you can go as a parent and get your sanity back. And they send people in to take care of your kid. I mean, all these things that
evil, actually.
if you're old, you're going to be taken care of. Nobody's worrying about.
If only Adam's parents had that option.
And also,
but socialism, but her reaction was, "Oh my God, socialism!" I'm like, no.
And it has to work right. I mean, it has to work right. And we haven't gotten to the fact, especially with healthcare, it's privatized in this country, and the insurance companies have run riot. They're evil in my opinion. And I'm not a conspirator, but they're evil. Even my dad, they're bad.
It's greed. What drives it? It's greed. Nobody needs to make 5, 6, 7, 8,
no,
10,
I'm talking about
bucks.
When I talk to someone, my Republic, whatever they want to call themselves, I go, whatever you want to say about Obama, we were spending more money on healthcare than any other country, and we're like number 17 in outcomes. 20% was going to bureaucracy. We're being spun around by the insurance companies. People are dying because they can't.
It's a for-profit business.
Yeah.
I mean, that is capitalism into human services.
That's what I like about.
It just doesn't work.
That's what I like about Trump, because he's going to round them all up and shoot them.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, well, that works. We can look at history and know that's very helpful.
This leads us to Princeton. I guess we can go a little over. They're going to have a. I think it's a little mooky. Hello, Kel Eaters. They're going to have on Sunday at the Susan Patterson Center, like what now after the election. They're going to have speakers. But when you read, to me, the article, it's almost like people want to hold each other and grieve. It seems a little mooky and uptight. It's why that we're hated in Indiana. But
it's not just Princeton. Like that happens everywhere.
All over the country, people
especially
have been
in this area. I got a lot of emails regarding different organizations. Oh, we're here for you and all those things.
Well, some of it might be scary. Admittedly,
it's scary
if you're a minority in immigration.
Those.
He did target you.
I mean, they did say.
But that's reality. But other people here are like, we have to hold each other and have an epiphany.
That's why I'm the therapist and you're not. Because when you take time for that, when you allow people to feel their feelings, then they can free up their energy to take action.
Okay.
It helps.
Did you know that Adam's gay name is Melania?
Melania.
No.
It was, right?
It was,
I remember that from last month.
It was Sonia. It was Sonia.
It's Melania now.
Melania.
It's Melania now.
And stuff. But they're going to get together and stuff and have their there was some, unfortunately, this town's, there's some kind of elitism. What I don't like, even though I don't like Trump at all, they were doing this with George Bush. He didn't turn out to be a great president either, but in my opinion, but they were making these snooty comments about him and everything he did was wrong, kind of mirroring what these stupid,
it's kind of like unless you go up and take a pledge and say, yes, Donald Trump is worse than Hitler, then you are a racist. And so there's a lot of pressure and conformity that goes on.
I don't like exactly.
And it's a political correctness from the Democratic left, where you must absolutely you don't think he's a racist, well then you're a racist.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And everything he does is Nazi Germany.
The conversation
and as far as I know, I mean,
there are some
he doesn't have plans to kill 6 million Jews.
Well,
he doesn't have plans to invade all these countries.
How do you know that?
Well, how do you know that Adam doesn't?
He doesn't like Jews. He doesn't like anybody who's not straight. He doesn't like
I don't
minorities.
I don't think he's racist, but what he's done is awful. he helped perpetuate racism. I don't even think he's
Yeah,
racist.
I think that's where I am as
worse.
well.
I think Donald Trump, again, he knew he did it his way. He knew he's impulsive. He was hard to control, but he knew it. He's a reality TV star. He knew his demographics. He knew he was going after.
He performed.
And he didn't care if he didn't win.
He read the tea leaves better than any professional
Yeah,
pollster.
exactly.
Yes, he did.
Somehow, this guy who
seems
seems to be a moron in many ways,
read the tea leaves.
Hit a home run on the election.
There's intellect there.
He's good at self-promotion. He's charismatic in his own way.
Okay, so this goes back to my idea, which is that we need to pass a law that you have to have held at least one public office, even if it's just mayor of your town, before you run for fucking
that doesn't work.
That's more regulation.
You can't be, if you're a Democrat and you don't like the result of the election, is you have to pass a law to prevent it from happening again. I mean, like it's like all the people who want to impeach him already or abolish the Electoral College, and it comes off as crybaby.
Okay, we have to go to the next image. Final 2 minutes. I'm putting you on the hot seat. I want to see your elevator speech power. What do you want to see for this station in the next
station? I don't care about the station. I care about their show.
I don't give a rat's ass about this station.
I just come here every month.
What do you want to see for the show in the next 30 seconds? 29, 28.
Maybe you dress well.
Okay.
And more energy for you.
Well, I think more comedy is critical because that helps us. That helps everyone.
More church lady.
Thank you. Maybe she could give a talk. I don't know.
I think we should cancel the show.
Cancel.
I like the feedback. I'm not trying to be low energy today. I'm actually not sick.
No, this is better than last month.
Oh, I was sick. Okay.
Yes,
no, but I thought I should be more even keel.
Yeah. We're talking about in the back there that you need some speed.
You are aware that you're on the show, right?
We should do this show every day then, and we get more chemistry. But that's until we get paid. So pay us money. We'll start a GoFund. Okay, that's been the roundtable. We'll be back next month, and we're right, you're wrong. Welcome back to Breezin with Bierman. We have our roundtable today with Church Lady and Vicky Estrella. Of course, we're post-election. Things are still quite raw. Let's start with Church Lady. How do you feel about this election and where things are going?
This election is an indication of the moral decay of this nation.
So, have you met Melania?
I am not allowed to finish my thought.
Okay, fine.
That's very disrespectful to an older woman.
You haven't said anything new in a couple of years.
Let me go on. I believe that Satan is manifested, and we now have the gospel of John, Ted, Paul, and Priebus, because Satan has taken over in the form of a man with red floppy hair and a tan at all times, probably because he spends the evening in hell. When you can't reach him, that's where he is.
Oh my God.
He's not in the Trump Tower. He's down in hell working on his tan. He's listening to Satan, and he's coming up, and he's going to be his mouthpiece.
He is orange and everything. Okay, what about you, Melania? Have you met Melania?
I can't wait to meet Melania. Oh, I have everything planned. We're gonna go shopping. I'm gonna be at Trump Tower. No, oh God, I can't wait.
Don't you like her outfit too?
Vicky.
You're like a marquee here. I love it.
I'm gonna be invited to Inauguration Day and so many parties.
Vicky is the personification.
I was already at the spa. I was interrupted to come to the show.
Is that why you have the sunglasses on?
I was having a facial, as you should. I have told you that, Church Lady.
What are you hiding? What are you hiding?
She doesn't like anybody.
A little makeup every once in a while.
This is not about makeup. This is about the fate of our nation.
So hold it. You didn't like Hillary or?
No, I did not.
Why?
Because neither candidate provides the correct moral leadership that this country needs.
Who was your candidate?
You know that I voted for Jesus.
Again?
You know that.
What's Jesus going to do about his little gray hair? Vicky, I'm shocked about this hair. I can't bear it.
Please,
Sorry.
please
we won't show it.
Jesus, although God counts and numbers every hair on our bodies, it's biblical that he loves us and he counts every single hair on our body.
I am
The
just
color
so
of the hair is not mentioned in the
But
Bible.
Church Lady and Vicky. Vicky, I'll address to you and then you can comment. What about, you are an immigrant, if I can say.
Sure
maybe
you can.
not of the class of immigrants that Donald's talking. What do you feel about this? It's still kind of your people, could I say?
Well, not really. I you know what? You know who my crowd is?
Who?
Is the white in crowd. That's my crowd.
What
That
crowd?
Social
I am,
climbing.
I am with the wealthy. I'm with the university professors.
Already established
wife,
white
I am
people.
with the pharmaceutical company.
Kind of like
executive
social climbing. She's
wife.
very on. White is right.
That
Is right.
is my crowd.
She's not even white.
That
for
is
heaven's
my
sake.
crowd. I use my American last name because that's the way to go in this
Vicky.
country. I know how to play the game.
Don't you love her
I
honesty?
know how to play the game.
What about you though? Should they deport Vicky's kind of people who she doesn't really hang out with because she?
It's
Jesus
good,
loves
you know.
all-
I do charity. You
Jesus
can see
loves
me in
all
all
the
the
children
pictures.
of the world.
I am
Vicky,
a bo-
quiet. I agree.
I am a board member
Vicky.
in every charity
Okay.
organization
Vicky, I
that
don't
helps
think you
all
should-
these people.
Vicky, I'm being blinded. I'm being blinded by your thing. Let her talk.
Vicky,
Oh, your best friend.
I do not think you should stay because of any of that. But Jesus loves every color of person.
Did you see
But they're
the
not all
pictures?
Christians.
I know we are trying
They're
to
Catholics
save
even,
Have
some
the
of
you
them.
world.
seen the pictures when I am in those charities as a board member? I have to say I am the best looking and the one in the best shape because I take care
And
of
they're
I
all-
that.
wonder
It's all
why
white.
Trump
They're all
won
white.
the election.
Yeah,
Except for the
obvious.
person pouring the water. But anyway, hold it. But you don't want these people to go either. The Muslims, the Catholics, or the
Certainly
Christians.
not. God loves all colors, and God wants me and all of the Christian community to spread the good news to those who haven't heard, so they can make a personal decision to accept Jesus as their Savior and Lord.
Or go to hell.
Well, I'm afraid that's what God says. I didn't make that up.
So Mexico, hell's better than Mexico for some of them being deported.
I'm not here to say, but just to tell you.
What about you?
That's what the Lord says in His book.
Since you've left some of your own people behind because you want to be with the white crowd, you know where your the butters, the butter and the bread is done. So what are you going to do though? What do you think about some of these immigrants?
Well, to tell you the truth, if I had the chance, and I think I will,
With Melania.
to have to talk to Mr. Trump, I would say those dreamers, they should stay. This country already invested education on them, so I think that they should not be deported. I'm all for those criminals, those rapists that he's talking about, those people who drink, and they are noisy and all that. Yes.
Vicky, do I sense a moral conscience coming out? You're actually saying that you would want to deport the minority criminals?
They are criminals.
Oh!
If they are criminals,
Criminals,
if
yes.
they are criminals, they have to go.
But they also need the good news of our Lord Jesus Christ. What
In
about
jail,
rehabilitation?
I have heard that there are chaplains and
There's
priests
many
that go
chaplains
to jail,
in jail.
and they convert and all that.
they can connect with the Lord.
or have gay sex. But anyway, Vicky,
That's an abomination in the eyes of
do you
God.
think Donald Trump would like you? You gotta what? You know he likes to grab things.
Well, he said that he's attracted to beauty. So I can only.
But hold it,
sure.
since you're into white people, you admitted you're into white people to move up, kind of forget your brown friends and everything.
I'm not that brown anyway.
Yeah. What about the church lady? Does she fit into your in crowd?
I will have to take it to the mall first.
Take it
I
to the
will have
mall.
to make sure that she's in shape. We have to do something with that hair. She had good skin complexion. That she has that onto her face.
I think she has cobwebs, if you know
But,
what I mean, in other places. Anyway,
But after all, I mean, it will look good in our pictures or charts.
Okay,
Don't you
okay.
It will look
realize
good.
15 seconds for
the
you.
fate of the world is hanging on our shoulders. Satan has taken over.
10,
It's good versus
9,
evil.
8,
It's bad versus good. You must stand on the side of our Lord Jesus Christ.
thank you. 15 seconds for you. Go. Final comment.
Oh God, there's so much to do with this
And look at those
inauguration coming.
And look at the roots.
Oh
God, how this
God, and I
happened.
don't know what
This
dress
is
I'm
the
gonna
devil's
wear.
work right here. Well,
That's the only true thing you've said,
Well,
Gregory Adams.
I don't know
Gregory
what we
Bierman.
said, but the conversation will continue. This has been Church Lady and Vicky Estrella.
Bye.
And watch out, white people. She's going to be with you. We'll be right back.
And they will be so happy to be with me.
Oh.
Welcome to What's Trending here with Raya, our holiday edition. So I have cool items for the holiday season. So let's get started with it. So Little Market is a great place to head if you are looking for ethical and safe, fair trade, and gorgeous presents. And as we head to the holiday season, it also has wonderful gift ideas. So for the person in your life who has it's so hard to get them gifts, this is going to be perfect for them. For example, I love their hot cocoa gift box. The mugs look so cool. and the Cheers gift box, and also they have Baby Cold outside. So they have like different gift boxes for different personalities. So some of the boxes may be expensive, but there are also boxes in the $40 range. So, and because the price can be higher, do what my sister and I do. We share it and then we give the gift together to our family or friends. So watches are such a great accessory. So the right watch can, instantly class up, glam up your do, for your basic t-shirt and jeans look. It can really add an impact. So sometimes watches are expensive. So this is where Riz Society comes in. So what happens here, there are two membership levels. Noble, which is $29 a month, and our Elite, which is $39 a month. So after you sign up and you choose a level, you'll get watch every month. So by the way, even though the Riz Society is mostly for men, women can also wear them, especially I do love like big watches. So definitely women can also wear these watches. So my friend was looking to, we're trying to find some cute gifts to send to our, out-of-state friends. So what we do, we found Greetable. So this is a total gifting experience. What happens here, you choose a decorative box and you then personalize it with Instagram photos. And then you put a note. Then you choose which gift you want inside the box. So they have candy, confetti, candles, mugs, and all those cool stuff. So then the Greetable people sends your gift. It's personalized to your loved ones. So this is the same way that when you send your gift or holiday cards to your friends out of state, but it's as easy as that, and it's very simple and cool. So my youngest sister, Darlene, has the coolest style in the family, and she has told me about this next item, and it is swings. So these are awesome. Swings are adorable accessories that can be added to swag out any pair of sneakers. So they were invented by a father and son who wanted to share the fun of life in a simple way. So swings is the result. So they're decorations that easily lace up into your shoes or your sneakers, and then immediately it gives you a unique touch. Celebrities like Kylie and Kendall Jenner, they wear that. The kids of celebrities such as Gwen Stefani, Heidi Klum, Victoria Beckham, they also have this now. You can grab flames, wings, mustaches, and even little shoes. So check out swings at Raya Arbiol at Raya Mish on Instagram and Twitter. So we're going back to Princeton. So I'm featuring this month's Princeton's holiday features. So they have a wonderful guide of gift ideas, entertaining and holiday themed entertainment. Look for caterers, invitations, stocking stuffers, and all those things. You can also buy tickets for your favorite holiday events such as the Christmas Carol. Online donation links and helpful articles that will get you through this holiday season. So if I were you, get to the holiday spirit and check out Princeton's online holiday guide for this year. Ho, 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 holiday. That's been your What's Trending for this month for Holiday Edition. This is Raya. Don't forget to check me out at Twitter or Instagram at Raya Arbiol and on Snapchat at Raya Mish. Baba Booey to all.